All right, good evening and welcome to Iron Port here on Metropolitan Television. Iron Port is proudly brought to you by the Ghana Revenue Authority, Goil PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, and Meridian Port Services, MPS, as well as Phoenix Insurance. The show is proudly powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority-GPHA, and our media partner on this journey of a lifetime is the Business and Financial Times, the BNFT. Now, if you want to have a grasp of all that transpired on the show tonight, make a date and grab the Thursday edition of the BNFT, and you'll be able to see all that happened here on the show. Tonight, we are streaming live on our social media pages as usual. On Facebook, we are live at Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Still on Facebook, we are live at Port of Tema, and on YouTube, we are streaming live at Iron Port. Now, we're going to be getting interactive with you, so all you have to do is sit back, relax, grab your phones, and send us your messages and comments via our dedicated WhatsApp line, which is 0538-037353. 0538-037353. Now, when the time is ripe and I pick signals from the production team, we shall activate the phone lines for you to call in and contribute to the discussion. My name is Kennedy Mona. We are going for a quick break. When we return, we will continue the discussion. Please stay with us.
Good energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP. Available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a Goil station today and energize your ride with Goil Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. Goil Super XP will feel ya, huh? Will be feel. Goil, good energy. Yeah, yeah.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Tell God, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is, you still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302 246 319 or 0243 690 492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
All right, welcome back. It's now time for us to take a look at happenings in the port and shipping industry by way of news.
Freight forwarders operating at the port of Tema have expressed confidence in the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority-GPHA, Meridian Port Services MPS, and other key public sector agencies involved in the cargo clearance chain to swiftly resolve recent challenges related to scanning procedures and cargo evacuation. This sentiment was shared during a business forum organized by the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders, GIF, which brought together major port stakeholders, including GPHA, MPS, Ghana Customs, and the Food and Drugs Authority, FDA. The engagement provided an open platform for dialogue on improving efficiency in cargo clearance processes. Freight forwarders acknowledged the proactive steps already being taken by GPHA and MPS to streamline port operations and enhance trade facilitation. They commended the commitment of these institutions to engaging stakeholders and implementing solutions that will further reduce delays in cargo scanning and evacuation.
Today we've had clarity. Mr. David Zongotu, Mr. Oria, and of course Madam Lydia explained the issues and the measures they've taken to ensure that these container transfers are a thing of the past. We are very confident, of course, in terms of what they've told us today, and we hope that all the issues that we have raised and the concerns, of course, from members, especially when we had an open forum where members posted certain questions, they've taken those in stride, and we are sure that they will be up to the task. Again, there were issues of concerns of equipment. We are hoping that GPHA will be able to raise their game in terms of equipment. It is critical. Of course, Mr. David Songotu spoke about how he's put certain logistical plan in place in terms of how to get trucks, third-party trucks, into a form of contract so they deliver. I think there is hope from what I heard.
Fortunately for us, MPS was here. They have spoken about the issues confronted with the scan issues. Gapoa too was here. They have spoken about the evacuation issue, which has been an endemic for us as freight forwarders. I mean, at the point we have engaged everybody and they seem not to have solutions about it. But assurance that they have given us, we can only pray and hope for the better.
GPHA assured industry players of its continued collaboration with MPS and regulatory agencies to ensure a seamless cargo handling experience. Officials from MPS reaffirmed their dedication to world-class terminal operations, highlighting ongoing efforts to enhance efficiency at Terminal 3 and strengthen coordination with customs for expedited cargo processing.
It started 28 October. And when something happened, there are certain technical implications. And that is, we must find solutions. And these are the solutions we are finding. And we are showing you, moving forward, this would be resolved. And that is why we are trying to tell you how we have met our counterparts, MPS, and the agreement we all had. And we are moving forward. You agree with me for some time now. At least MPS has opened up to us. We have opened up to MPS. We have understood one another, and we are gone. We have understood to go to a particular road, and we are doing it. So, my brother, the operational matters, I agree with you. But this is what would lead us to efficiency. We are just assuring you that calm your nerves. We are going to do it.
On behalf of the management and the staff of MPS, we say thank you very much, and we will still require your input, your criticisms, and everything that you want to share with us to make our place a better place. Our main focus is to serve you. I'll say we may not have all the solutions, but sometimes these inputs that we get from you, we work at it so that at the end of the day, you're able to put in measures or solutions that would make your job better and easier.
At the end of the forum, all parties agreed on the need for continuous stakeholder engagement to sustain the gains made in port efficiency. Freight forwarders expressed optimism that the collaborative approach by GPHA, MPS, and regulatory bodies would lead to even greater improvements in cargo clearance, reinforcing Ghana's position as a competitive trade hub in the sub-region. They also reiterated their dissatisfaction with shipping line practices in the country, revealing that a lawsuit is in motion to address the matter.
The Staff Association of the Tema Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority has donated essential food items and cash to the Teshi Children's Home. The donation, which was done on Monday, February 17, 2025, included detergents, toiletries, Milo, cartons of frozen fish, bags of rice, packs of soft drink, bottled water, and a cash donation of 5,000 Ghana cedis. The support is aimed at helping meet the needs of the 27 children at the home who range in the age from 3 to 22. Speaking to Iron Port on the selection of the Teshi Children's Home for this year's Corporate Social Responsibility, the chairman of the Customs Staff Association Senior Revenue Officer, Michael Inkansa Ochre, emphasized that giving back to the society has always been a core mandate of the association.
A word of encouragement is that they should keep it up, because they may think that maybe they're doing something little, but we all go around, we see these things, and with what they do, they are also ridding our society of hooligans and misfits, because they are inculcating to them a certain lifestyle which will be very meaningful. As you earlier on heard from the manager, he was saying that some have become graduates working in banks, some too are pastors, and so we believe that their impact that they are making on society, they may think it's small, but it's going a very, very, very long way.
The administrator of the Teshi Children's Home, Moses Lamte, who received the donation on behalf of the home, expressed his gratitude to the association for their generous support in improving the living conditions of the children. He revealed that some of the children have grown and successfully transitioned into various institutions, including nursing, pastoral ministry, and other professional fields. He also appealed to other philanthropists to extend their support to the home to ensure the continued well-being of the children.
If you are out there and you have seen what they have done, you can also, do same, because there's much blessing in this. These children, it is not their fault, but circumstances have let them get to where they are. So it is you and I, we have to make sure we put them at where they are supposed to be. So I'm grateful for what they have done. And you out there, you can also do same by putting smiles on their faces.
During the celebration of Valentine's Day earlier in the month of February 2025, the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority at the Port of Takoradi reinforced its commitment to corporate social responsibility with 2 significant donations aimed at supporting vulnerable communities. GPHA presented essential items to Father Home Care Ministries Children's Home in Takoradi. The donation, handed over by management, is expected to help meet the daily and educational needs of the children.
We feel that we have a moral obligation to help the less privileged in the society. So as you find us here, together with the HR manager and the marketing and public affairs manager, we are here to do this donation on behalf of the entire port community.
A caretaker from the home expressed deep gratitude, noting that the contribution would greatly enhance the facility's ability to care for and nurture its students.
One silver collection every year be our year in our fee what of father so care ministries more from Eduma or be the me Yankopon called insure one Namima when Edmond Codro. Well, Afibia only one hour was in him on board with Jumanim.
On the same day, GPHA extended its outreach to Twin Cities Special School in Secondary Takoradi, highlighting the organization's dedication to inclusivity and community solidarity, and emphasizing the importance of supporting individuals with special needs.
We are presenting these items to Twin City in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Thank you.
Amen.
The gift, a collection of essential supplies and foodstuff, was received with appreciation by representatives of the school community.
The acting chief executive officer of the National Petroleum Authority, Takoradi, has commended Goil PLC for implementing robust safety measures at its LPG bottling plant in Tema. During a working visit to the facility on Thursday, February 20, 2025, Gordon Tamaklo and his management familiarized themselves with the plant's operations, which aligns with the National Cylinder Recirculation Model. He praised the facility's state-of-the-art firefighting system, which includes a 1 million litre capacity water tank capable of sustaining fire suppression efforts for 2 hours before requiring external assistance from the Ghana National Fire Service.
With a little tour, the fact of the pumping machine that you have, the fact that you're able to deploy your water, fire processes for 2 hours on your own, that's impressive. And I can only say keep on with what you're doing.
He assured Goil PLC of the NPA's unwavering support to ensure the company's smooth and efficient operations.
We would also ensure that from our end, whatever regulatory support by way of institutional support that we need to give you, we'll do that. Remember that we are championing a cylinder recirculation model, and because of that, we will need you to also invest in educating the public.
He highlighted the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition's commitment to promoting cleaner energy alternatives to reduce dependence on firewood and protect the environment. Head of Operations at Goil PLC, Engineer Dennis Ni Komiete Amui, explained the fully automated LPG bottling facility can fill up to 900 cylinders of 14.5 kilogram per day.
This facility, I must say, is a fully automated facility. Everything here is fully automated. However, you can operate it semi-automated and you can also operate it full manual. So this facility is our version of an LPG bottling plant that's capable of filling 900 bottles, 14.5 kg bottles within a day.
The head of technical and special products at Goil PLC, Joshua Dudu, disclosed the company currently operates approximately 63 exchange points across the country, adding that public response has been overwhelmingly positive.
People are getting excited about it and it's getting a very good response. I know because of the investment, the level of investment, I think this is the way to penetrate to the remotest part of the country within the shortest possible time. So it's the way to go. We have systems installed to ensure that we're giving the exact quantities we are supposed to give. In fact, the bottles will be rejected if they are not up to the program quantity. So I can assure the public that when you buy from Goil, you are assured of value for money.
The Goil PLC LPG bottling plant in Tema also houses a cylinder repair shed to ensure that all cylinders distributed to consumers meet stringent safety standards.
All right, so those were happenings in the port and shipping industry that took place in the course of last week. We're not going for the word or phrase of the day. And remember, the word or phrase of the day has been fashioned to bring you up to speed with the terminologies and jargons we use in the shipping industry. Today's word, carbon neutrality. Carbon neutrality.
In the maritime industry, carbon neutrality refers to achieving a net zero carbon footprint by balancing the amount of carbon dioxide emitted with an equivalent amount removed or offset. This involves reducing carbon dioxide emissions through energy efficiency and alternative fuels, and offsetting remaining emissions via carbon credits or sequestration projects. The goal is to ensure that shipping operations do not contribute to an increase in atmospheric carbon dioxide levels.
health and safety tip, and tonight we're taking a look at wearing a safety harness. How to wear a safety harness.
Safety harness. A safety harness is a form of protective equipment designed to safeguard the user from injury or death from falling. The core item of a fall arrest system, the harness is usually fabricated from rope, braided wire cable, or synthetic webbing. It is attached securely to a stationary object directly by a locking device or indirectly via a rope, cable, webbing, or one or more locking devices. The use of safety harness is commonly required for workers in industries such as construction, logging, and mining. Safety harness are a great way to keep your employees safe while they work at heights. Field workers are encouraged to prioritize the wearing of safety harness on site.
All right, so we're zooming to our discussion proper tonight. Tonight, our discussion is in two folds. One, we have some guests from the International Maritime Hospital. The International Maritime Hospital has lined up a series of activities to mark this particular month. We're in the month of February at the moment, but they still have so much that they are doing to draw attention to cervical cancer. And so tonight we are grateful or glad to introduce you Dr. Martina Bakar-Texan, Medical Officer, International Maritime Hospital. Doc, good evening and welcome.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. And we also have in the studios Dr. Barbara Fenyi, Specialist Obstetrician Gynecologist, International Maritime Hospital, IMaH's. Good evening, Doc, and welcome.
Good evening. Thank you for having us.
All right. So let me begin with you, Doc, and find out from you what cervical cancer is and what IMaH's has been doing all this while. I mean, since last month when we started the celebration or the awareness month.
Okay, so I think a lot of noise has been made about cervical cancer. Cervical cancer is simply cancer of the cervix. And the cervix is the lower part of the womb that is found inside the vagina. Any woman who puts her finger inside her vagina will feel a hard mass. That is what is called the cervix. Yeah. And the cervical cancer is the second leading cause of female cancers that causes death. So we are making noise about this because it's the leading cause of female deaths, cancer deaths in Ghana.
Yes.
So this month, we decided to extend the cervical cancer awareness into February because February is the month of love. And we think the best love you can give a woman is to pay for her cervical cancer screening or make sure that she's screened for cervical cancer.
Right. And so what have you done? What were some of the activities you undertook?
So we launched the awareness campaign on the 14th of February in the hospital. And we invited the MP for Tema. Yes. Tema West was present at our launch. We've been able to screen a lot of women in the Tema municipality. And we are planning to embark on an outreach program to the market to raise awareness about cervical cancer.
Okay, so let me come to Dr. Bakar-Texan.
Yes.
Dr. Martina.
Yes.
And I found out from you how the human papillomavirus.
Yes.
Yes, that's a mouthful. How it contributes to the development of cervical cancer.
Yes. So the human papillomavirus, aka HPV, that's the virus that's with a persistent infection with this virus. Yes. It increases the risk of women getting cervical cancer. So it's a viral infection. Ideally, the body should be able to clear most of the viral infections, but certain people have certain risk factors. Those that are immunocompromised, like those that have HIV, people that have certain lifestyles like smoking, all those things puts people at a greater risk, especially when there's an HPV infection, for it to persist to cause the cervical cancer.
All right, so let's take a look at the prevalence rate in Ghana. How prevalent is it, and in terms of mortality?
So in Ghana, about 3,000 women are diagnosed with cervical cancer every year, out of which more than half die, about 1,800 per year. Wow. You might think it's a small number, but that's actually significant. Especially because cervical cancer is easily preventable. So all these deaths are preventable deaths. It's the second leading cause of cancer deaths here in Ghana, second to breast cancer.
Right. Okay, so let me come back to Dr. Fenyi. And find out from you the early warning signs of cervical cancer that women should look out for.
So this is the more reason we are embarking on the campaign. Unfortunately, cervical cancer early signs are asymptomatic, meaning they don't show any signs.
Right.
Most women who are carrying the early stages of the disease will not let you know that I have cervical cancer. By the time you notice something is wrong, it may be a little too late. So some of the signs of late disease are that you may have postmenopausal bleeding. This simply means that a woman who has stopped menstruating, who is in menopause, starts seeing blood under her. That's a worrying sign, and she should visit the hospital immediately. Other signs include bleeding in between your menses. Ideally, every woman has a menstrual cycle which they are supposed to follow. If you see blood in between your menses, please visit the hospital. Another sign of cervical cancer is contact bleeding. So you either have sex or you douche or you put your finger there and you realize that you are bleeding. It's a sign of cervical cancer, which I have mentioned is a late sign. Some also have horrible smelling vaginal discharge. Once you have that, please come into the hospital. Again, let me state that the signs, there are really no signs of early disease. It's asymptomatic, and that's why we are here embarking on the awareness to make sure every woman gets screened for cervical cancer, because you wouldn't know if you have the early disease.
And at what age should women begin to, as it were, to screen for cervical cancer, and how often should they do so?
Okay.
In a year?
So usually when you are less than 21 years, you don't require any screening. But from 21 to 29 years, we expect every woman to come in for the test. It's assumed that usually at that age, women are sexually active. But if you're not sexually active, the test includes us passing the speculum, which may not be too friendly for those who haven't had sex. So from 21 years upwards, you're supposed to come in for the test. The tests, we have different forms of testing. In low-resource populations, we can just do the VIA, which is just coating the cervix with acetic acid. And if we notice a whitish lesion on your cervix, we'll further test you. That is cheaper and easier to do, but that's not gold standard. The gold standard includes having the pap smear or the pap smear with the HPV test, which is known as the co-testing. If you should do the co-testing, which is doing the HPV DNA test and then the cytology test, which is the pap smear, you have to repeat the test every 5 years. If you do just the pap smear, which is also adequate, you can do it every 3 years.
Right.
So that's about it.
And how effective is the pap smear and the, what do we call it, the HPV DNA test?
It's very, very effective. A lot of people who have come in and then have been diagnosed with the HPV infection. Again, Dr. Abaka mentioned that HPV test is not, once you test positive, it's not a death sentence.
Right.
Most people within 6 months to 1 year are able to clear the infection. It's a viral infection. It's just like having a cold and saying that I'm going to die. You're not going to die. So if you test positive, you come in, we help you boost your immunity, and we retest you in a year. So having the pap smear is very, very effective in picking up disease. We've picked up a lot of diseases with those who came in. Again, there's been a talk about doing the self-testing.
Right.
Self-testing means you don't have to come to the hospital. You just buy the test kit and do it at home. There are advantages and disadvantages to that. One of the disadvantages to the self-testing is from a recent one we had. A patient came in and we did a pap smear for her. And when we looked down there, we realized that she had a polyp.
Right.
A polyp is just an outgrowth on the cervix. That polyp was taken out, and then we had a test on it. It turned out to be early stages cervical cancer. If you had done this test at home, you would have missed this polyp.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we encourage people to come in. At least once in your lifetime, let somebody have a look at your cervix and tell you it's fine.
All right, let me come to Dr. Abaka Texan and ask you some of the common, as it were, barriers that prevent women or inhibit women from coming to screen for cervical cancer.
It's largely lack of knowledge. People don't know what cervical cancer is. They don't know that they can get it, and they don't know what to do to get screened or prevent the cancer from developing. And that is why we are doing the awareness campaign to reach these people who are limited in terms of knowledge. Another barrier is cost of screening.
Right.
as compared to certain cancers like breast cancer, it's more expensive to screen for cervical cancer. You have to do a pap smear, you have to do HPV DNA test and the other tests, unlike breast screening that requires examination and certain tests. Knowing that we are offering discounts on the screening at International Maritime Hospital. And also with cost, people are unable to afford the vaccines. That also helps with the prevention of this cancer. Knowing that as well, we are also offering discounts on the vaccination at IMaH. So please come by.
Right. Okay, so let's zero in on HPV vaccination and its role in prevention of cervical cancer. And find out from you who is eligible for HPV vaccine and at what age should it be administered?
It's recommended that girls between 9 and 14 receive the vaccine. It covers them for at least 10 years. After that, they can get a booster. The virus takes about 10 to 15 years to evolve into a cancer through the changes. So within that period, they are protected. After 9 to 14 years, all women can pass through to get the vaccine, unless they are above age 45.
Yes. Okay. Dr. Fenyi, let me find out from you, how effective is HPV, and that's the HPV vaccine, and is it possible that it can prevent all forms of, cervical cancer?
No, that's impossible. Currently, only 6 types of the HPV vaccine has been developed.
Right.
At International Maritime, we have the Gardasil 4, which vaccinates you against 4 types of HPV, which is the 16, 18, 6, and 11. But there are several subtypes of HPV virus that can cause cervical cancer. So yes, it does protect you, but you are still not free from screening. Once you've been vaccinated, you have a bit of protection from some of the subtypes, but not all the subtypes. So you must still continue your screening regimen.
I asked Dr. Abaka texting about, whether there were any barriers that inhibit women from getting screening. Here, again, I want to find out whether there are any misconceptions about HPV and all that. But before then, I would want to find out from you, over the years, what has been the response of women each time you embark of cervical cancer awareness? What's always the response?
It's always amazing to find highly educated women who still haven't had the pap smear. You can I easily do surveys in my consulting room when you come in to ask whether you've had it. And a lot of women don't know about it.
Yes.
Or some know, but they think it won't be them. They would not have cervical cancer.
Yeah.
So yes, that is the misconception and the poor knowledge about cervical cancer is a major barrier to it. Yeah.
Okay, so now back to my substantive question about misconceptions.
Yeah. So in Ghana, people believe what you don't know won't kill you. But unfortunately for cervical cancer, what you don't know will kill you.
Right.
Because like I mentioned, it's asymptomatic. It doesn't give you any signs. So you may be thinking, I'm very fine, I'm okay. Next minute, you are bleeding. Or you have a horrible discharge, and then you come in and we tell you it's too late. And it's really sad when you see young women, 35 years, come in with full-blown cervical cancer. It's sad because it's highly preventable, 100% preventable.
Right. Dr. Abaka Texan, younger or adults who didn't receive, the vaccine or who were not vaccinated at the younger age, are they eligible for HPV vaccine?
Yes, they are. All women less than 45 years can receive the HPV vaccine.
Okay, so let's now take a look at the screening and treatment services that IMaH provides for cervical cancer, patients or prospective patients, so to speak.
Okay, so IMaH does almost all the screening methods available. So we do the VIA test, we do the pap smear, we do the HPV DNA as well. The only thing we don't do now is the colposcopy, but then all the treatment facilities are available, like the comb biopsy, the trachelectomy, the conization, all the treatment methods are available. And IMaH also has an oncology unit that can continue care for people who are diagnosed with CA service, the late stages.
All right, so you mentioned 30% discount. How has that impacted HPV vaccination or participation so far?
Over the past couple of weeks, you've seen more women come through. More women are taking the opportunity that has been given to them and passing through to get the vaccine and then the screening.
Is it really that expensive?
It's not that expensive, but it's a bit on the high side. Knowing
a bit on the high side.
Yes.
And 30% is quite enormous for somebody to take advantage of.
Yes.
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 Right. All right. So strategies IMA is using to reach more women and increase awareness. One of it is this platform.
Yes, one of the strategies is this.
Yes.
We've been given this platform to be able to reach as many women as possible who hear about this, and not just women, men.
Right.
Please, your wife, your mother, your sisters, make sure that all women come and take advantage of this.
The girlfriends and side chicks.
I don't want to add that one. So girlfriends and side chicks as well. Yes.
All right. So, are there any success stories from previous awareness campaigns that can be shared?
Yeah. So I mentioned the polyp that turned out to be early stage cervical cancer.
Yes.
Also, we've picked up a lot of HPV positive patients who we've had to increase their immune system, teach them what to eat, and then come back for retesting, and they've tested negative. So yes, we've had some success stories. Yes.
Right. Okay, so what roles should families, schools, and workplaces play in encouraging cervical cancer prevention?
So families can play a role by offering these services as gifts to their loved ones. Schools and workplaces can incorporate talks and awareness programs on cervical cancer as part of their programs. And for workplaces, they can include a screening and vaccination as part of their packages for their staff.
Right.
To help break the cycle.
All right, so government, how can government come in to help and healthcare institutions to expand access to screening and prevention, so to speak?
Screening and prevention. Maybe if pap smears were part of the NHI package, that would help. Because a lot of the women who actually need it and can't afford would have benefited from cervical cancer screening if it was part of the package. Also, elsewhere where there's a lot of money, boys are even being vaccinated at the age of 9 years because they carry the HPV vaccine virus as well. So if that could also be part of our packages, that would help.
It does appear breast cancer is all over the place, and everybody, it takes precedence over every other, cancer in terms of women. Why is that? Why can't we make so much more noise about cervical cancer?
So the breast is easily seen. If you look at a woman, you see her breast.
Manchester.
But you will not see her cervix, will you?
Right.
So exactly. The breast, once a woman gets breast cancer, it's obvious.
Right.
Cervical cancer is like a hidden disease.
Yeah.
So we are trying to create a lot of awareness, hoping that we reach as many as possible.
Policies, interventions, which of them should be considered to make cervical cancer screening and HPV vaccination more accessible? You mentioned that if it was captured by the NHIs, that's one of it.
Yeah.
Any others?
Yeah.
It could also be captured by other institutions that offer insurance services so that more women can have access to the screening and then the vaccination, so that money won't be a barrier to getting screened and preventing yourself from getting cervical cancer.
Right. Okay, so the younger women or women in general who are watching this show tonight, you're still having your cervical cancer campaign as International Maritime Hospital.
Yes.
Tell them, what should they do, on a daily basis to ensure that they, get themselves checked? You mentioned at some point there was a lump somewhere, hidden somewhere.
Yeah.
And if you had not tested yourselves, the fellow sitting at home and doing the things that she's supposed to do to detect it, would not have found out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what should they be doing?
So we want to help employ the WHO strategy, which is the 90-70-90, which says that 90% of all girls by age 15 should be vaccinated.
Right.
70% of women should be screened for early cancer by age 35 and 45 years. And then 90% with those with early disease or late disease should receive appropriate treatment. So we are starting off by educating people that girls by age 15 should get the vaccine.
Right.
The vaccine has been highly subsidized at International Maritime. You can come in at any time with your daughters, with your little ones, and then get them vaccinated. And then for all women, please try and at least have the pap smear test done.
Right.
For all women. That's our cry now to the public.
Right. Dr. Abaka Texan, what we've been told is that men should also check out for breast cancer, even though it's quite low on the percentage, of men that are. Is it the same thing with cervical cancer, or is strictly women?
No, it's not the same thing. Only women have the cervix to get cervical cancer.
Okay.
But I'd like to add on to what Dr. Feni spoke about. As part of people's general checkup that they have every 6 months, every year, they can include the pap smear every 3 years if they are doing it without the HPV DNA testing.
Right.
And then if it's with the DNA testing, every 5 years.
Right.
So that they get checked and prevent cervical cancer.
Right. Okay, so your final words, Dr. Feni.
Okay, so cervical cancer, as we know, is one of the common female cancers, highly preventable if we are all interested. We can prevent cervical cancer by doing our pap smear, regular pap smear every 3 years, or the co-testing every 5 years. As many women as possible should take advantage of our discounts and get vaccinated.
Right. All right. Dr. Abaka-Texan, your final words?
As you wish people happy birthday, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, use the opportunity to also send gifts. A gift could be getting someone screened, and that can help save life.
Right.
Because early detection really saves lives.
Right. Thank you very much indeed, Dr. Martina Abaka-Texan, Medical Officer, International Maritime Hospital, IMA, and indeed Dr. Barbara Feni, Specialist Obstetrician Gynecologist, International Maritime Hospital, IMA. We thank you so much for obliging us this evening, and we're hoping that your campaign will yield the necessary dividends as far as your quest to get women to accept and indeed come for early as well as screening is concerned. We're deeply grateful to you for joining us tonight on Iron Port. Wish you the best, and I'm sure we'll get to talk later. And remember, they say they have a 30% discount for you if you are coming to check for cervical cancer. So the place to be is the International Maritime Hospital in Tema, Community 3 for your cervical cancer screening. We're going for a quick break. When we return, we'll zoom into our second discussion for tonight. Please stay with us. My name is Kennedy.
Good energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP. Available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a Goil station today and energize your ride with Goil Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. Goil Super XP, Wufilia, huh? Wubefeel. Goil, good energy. Yeah, yeah.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302-246-319 or 0243-690-492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
Viewers, this is how we draw the curtain on tonight's edition of Our Report here on Metropolitan Television. Remember, the show is proudly powered by the Ghana Revenue Authority, Goil PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, MPS, and indeed Phoenix Insurance. Remember, it's powered also by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority-GPHA. Like I said, please make a date and watch the brief version of Our Report on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. on Ghana Television. Indeed, God willing, we shall bounce back your way again next week with another wonderful edition of your favorite Our Report program. My name is Kennedy Mona. Thanks for watching, and keep watching the rest of our programs here. We wish you a super week ahead. God bless, and thanks for choosing us. Good evening once again.